to us, like, here we are, like chatting and talking and stuff, and we should probably like save that for like when everybody can see what's going on.
Save the good
So,
stuff.
hello world, we're here, and I'm glad that you're here. So we have. Can you guys see the comments on the side of the screen?
Nope.
No.
Well, I see
any
private
yet.
chat. Yeah, I don't see any yet.
Okay, so I guess I'm the only one who can see the
like
screen,
comment.
or I can see the comments, and I can always, like, once I look, there's Rebecca. So Rebecca comes in and she says, "Hi, all. Guess who's
Hi,
here?"
Rebecca. Hi.
There she is.
Stephanie.
There she is. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Sorry, my
So we've got
headphones
all
did
of
not
us.
work, so we're on my phone. Can you hear me?
It looks great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks great. Do you want me to mess around with the pictures? Well, I guess that doesn't really do much. Oh, that's too much of
Oh,
me.
Troy. There
There's-
you go.
hello, everybody.
There you go.
All right, so I guess that's pretty much all we get. Like, we just get the
Okay.
four of us. So yeah, we've got people coming in, and that's cool. Heather says hello,
Hello.
and hi. She says hi, and then
Turner.
Tracy said,
Let
Hi,
me know,
guys.
Troy, if you want me to sync up the script.
"Oh yeah." So I've got.
Oh, what? What's happening here?
Yeah, you know what we could do? I wanted to surprise them with Stephanie, but I was thinking we could all four do a scene. What do you think?
The four of us?
This is like Danny. My husband's a musician and he's a drummer, and so anytime that he has to listen to his own stuff, he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, that's the. I thought that would be fun. That'd be a cool thing. So let's talk about this book. I mean, I think that this book is news to all of us. It really, because you guys just started I don't think I've ever seen a book go from idea to manuscript to audiobook as quickly as it did. So you guys both need to tell us the story. You know what I need to do? I need to everybody introduce themselves.
Oh,
Did you know that I have ADD?
me too. This is a bad
Okay.
combination.
Good. I feel like I should warn people before I start talking, because like the next thing I know, there's like, oh, okay, half an hour's gone by and he's explained the concept of making a clock when you just asked him the time. But so anyway, we should introduce everybody first. This Facebook Live is on all of our pages, and except Stephanie for yours, and I'm sorry for that, but I couldn't quite figure out how to tag you on there. So.
All right.
We can
But
share
you're-
it afterwards, right?
Yeah, but so this is
I'll
on
share it,
several. This is on several social channels. So some people are here with Mo. Some people are here with Aly. Some people are here to see Stephanie, because we've been. I don't know if you've known this, Stephanie, but we've been using your name in vain for several days now to talk about
my.
this book. But so anyway, we have Aly Martinez, and we have Mo Mabie, and that's the correct pronunciation, right? Okay, good. Well, I didn't have to say your name in the author's credits, so if it's wrong, it's Stephanie's fault. I'll just blame Stephanie.
I've been called a lot of stuff.
and we have Stephanie Rose, and I think that it is really so cool to be in the same room with you guys, because listening to Stephanie, your work is just, I feel like I'm way out of my league. Like, we're not even playing the same sport. You're like Martina Navratilova, and I'm like playing badminton over here like you're Uncle Morty. But and Aly and Mo, of course, are the authors who wrote this amazing story called "When the Walls Come Down," and it's really interesting to me to hear how you guys came up with the idea. So you should tell people what the story of the genesis of this story.
Mosey, you want to take it away?
Well, I think we were both kind of feeling that same hesitation when we were writing our individual books respectively back in March, and we were just kind of pushing each other forward with those, just doing the normal cheerleading that we typically do.
Mhm.
And before a couple of years ago, we started this little project where we were writing some really filthy stuff, and we had the best time. It always got us out of our writer's block.
Yeah.
It always got us out of our writer's block. So then none of our books were going anywhere. We weren't getting anything done. We weren't feeling productive, but we liked talking to each other and we liked plotting. And so we thought, well, then let's just take somebody that you already know, somebody that I already know from my world, and let's kind of like Ken and Barbie, let's get them together and make them kiss and stuff. And so that's what we did.
That's very
And
cool.
then it just kind of blew up. And every day we were hitting numbers that we didn't hit on our own, like crazy amounts of words. And the story was going so easily. And Shane and Maggie really kind of, I don't know, they just took a life of their own and went, and we just kind of followed, and it was so much fun, and it was so motivating every day to get up and, you know, feel like you were in it together with somebody else. I'm sure you guys kind of get that feeling when you're working with, you know, a partner or somebody on a project, and writing can be kind of isolating sometimes. And even though Aly's always there, we're never really working on the same thing, pushing the same rock down the street, you know? And so it really kind of gave us purpose and made us laugh. And we had no excuse to not talk to each other all day long while we were writing. Whereas when we're writing our own book, we need to leave each other alone. And it was just really fun. And it just, every day we would wake up and be excited. And every night we were on the phone all night talking about what we were going to write the next day. So it was really easy. It wasn't anything. It worked. And it just came naturally to us to write together. We'd already kind of done it before in a much smuttier world. But this, it just worked so well. And it was such a joy, and it just made us smile every day. And so we thought, it can't be bad if we're having this much fun, and other people are going to feel that. And I think we've got a lot of response back that they could feel like how happy we were, and they could tell how much joy it brought us to write, because they feel that while they're reading it. And that means a lot to us too, because they could tell where we were, and they were probably going through the same thing, or are still going through the same thing.
Well, you know, from my perspective as one of the two narrators, it was really easy to get into these characters. I mean, you guys did such a great job of writing these. Like that's you know, Shane is exactly like me if I was really funny and handsome, and like.
Did you lose a lot of weight?
He's one of the, actually I'm going the opposite direction. I'm like, you know, I was thin, and then this COVID thing happened, and sloppy joes and mac and cheese and comfort foods. So I'm going. Actually, I just started running.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm down below the 20-minute mile. So I'm like well on my way. So, well, how did you feel about it, Stephanie? When you were reading it, what was your initial thought when you started reading the your part, Maggie's part?
I mean, I just thought it was such a smart character, and you know, one of my favorite things about Maggie is that she's tenacious, and she knows what she wants, and she's good at her job, and she's courageous, and all these things that I just so loved about her. And it was so fun to get in there with her. And then also her wit, you know, which is like sort of her defining characteristic, and what makes her relationship with Shane so much fun is that she takes no prisoners, you know, and she will tell you what she thinks, and she's funny and quick. And it was a breeze. This was just so much fun to read.
Yeah, it was really cool. So are there any parts in here? So Aly, which parts can we look at and say, oh yeah, that's definitely that's Aly writing, and this is Mo?
So I wrote Maggie, and Mo is Shane.
Really?
So,
thank you, Mo.
So we went back, and we very, very much co-wrote this book. Like it was, every single chapter has both of our fingerprints inside of it. But I would do the first draft of Maggie. Maggie is a character from my retrieval duet. She is Heath, who you see in the book. It's his little sister. Heath is the hero in the retrieval duet.
Oh,
and
okay.
Shane is from Mo's Wake series, which follows Casey and Blake and their love story.
Reggie's got to have his own story too, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, I kind of figured, like, you kind of like, as you're reading that, you get the idea, like, oh, this guy's story is interesting. I wonder what that's all about.
Well, and I think that was probably what was. Oh, sorry.
Nope. Go ahead.
It's stereo.
I think that was what was so fun for us. It was a familiar people and familiar worlds for both of us, because we both read each other's work, and so it kind of felt like home a little bit. Like it wasn't trudging through this new project. It was kind of just like going to a reunion, and it's so crazy how we just got right back into those worlds, and it was so fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I still can't imagine how, like, the author's world is hard. I mean, I really admire you for, you come up with a story idea, and then you have to, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you put a framework together and fill it in, or what the deal is, but you go through all that, and then it goes to an editor, right? And then the editor, like, eviscerates all of your beautifully spun words and blood and sweat and tears that you put into it, and then they throw it back at you and say, fix that. And then you're like, okay, and you have to go back through and fix it, and then you resubmit it, and then you have to have people read through it and proof it. And all of this happened like so fast. I was just amazed that it was such a, I mean, it was a really well-formed story, and it sounded, or it looked to me like you guys spent a lot of time putting it together.
Well, we did spend a lot of time on it, just not very many days.
Yeah.
we spent pretty much 24 hours a day in this world. And I'll tell you what, like, the stars just aligned as far as the audio goes. I posted in my group, I'm like, y'all, magic happened, because I didn't think either one of you were going to be able to do this, much less have a window that was similar. I'm used to waiting 3 to 6 months on audio when, I have to book out narrators. And so you guys just had this tiny sliver window that matched. And you can ask Mo, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, we got audio.
That's kind of the way it worked for me. I had been through, like, I had some deadlines that I had to meet, and when you reached out and said, "Hey, would you like to do this book?" I saw the manuscript, and I thought, "Wow, I got to do this if I can." And so I had these things, and so I kind of doubled up on those, and I gave myself a little window of time, and then I didn't know if Stephanie was going to be able to do the same thing. I mean, I felt like I was kind of lucky that that I was able to carve out that time to do.
It was magic. So. Seriously, Yes. I talk about it all the time, but like with Mo and in my group, I'm like, I don't know how we made this happen, but y'all, it worked. So,
yeah. And you said that the audiobook is now headed for retail?
The audiobook is headed for retail. I talked to somebody at ACX. It's already cleared quality. It's yeah. The
audio gods spoke.
They did. I emailed a lot of people.
Well, so Stephanie did all of the. All I did, I just kind of showed up and I read my parts and then threw it off on Stephanie, and so all of the the magic that goes into that audiobook is Stephanie's. So I think really I admire.
Me perfect audio.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that it's not easy to to get everything to match up, and the EQ and the compression and all that all that stuff. So that's some really virtuoso stuff that you did to get that audio through. And then a lot of people aren't familiar with the Audible ACX quality control process, but usually it takes a lot longer to get through the through that process.
Yes.
So.
I spent a month with my last audio waiting for it to go live. A full 32 days.
So, yeah, I think it's just it was one of those things where, everything kind of came together at the same time. So, all right. So no spoilers, but what's everybody's favorite part of the story?
Tic Tacs and knee pads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that too. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I like that whole, what was it? The back and forth, the contest. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a fun book. It's a fun book. But yeah, it's just a bunch of us being silly and talking to each other. So we had a lot of fun, and we did not pull any punches as far as like, oh, this is probably too silly. We're like, no, that's what Shane would say. That's what Maggie would retort. So
yeah, when I finished the book, I emailed Aly and I said, you know what, the F-bombs that come out of my mouth now are like triple because that's like Shane's favorite word.
That's Mo.
That was like he uses it like Frank's hot sauce. He just like pours a little bit on every sentence. That's Shane's natural way of talking.
You don't even understand how many F-bombs we pulled out of this book before production. So.
I think you can say fuck if you want. I mean, I think by now, Aly, the damage is done. So you can say pretty much any of those words that you need to. If it's if you need to get it out, it's there. There's Stephanie, and look, Stephanie's in more comfortable climes.
I had to move. The internet was not working very well, so I had to do a relocation. Hopefully this will be better.
Well, looks good. So you're on Pacific time. And
yes,
so we scheduled the Facebook Live at a kind of a weird time, like 15 minutes after, because Stephanie said, well, I don't have childcare until after 3 Pacific time, so I thought that 15 minutes would be close to enough time to maybe like wrangle babies and get them into the arms of qualified caregivers. But
it worked out.
Yeah,
mine are just with my husband. I don't know how qualified that is.
Oh yeah, you don't even want to know what's going on behind those doors. There's there's probably like macaroni and cheese and Franks and beans splattered all over the wall. It looked like a CSI scene when you go out.
Pretty much.
So. Well, luckily for me, those days are behind me. But my oldest, I have a granddaughter. She'll be 2 in just a few days. Aww. And but as my daughter was going through all of these trials and tribulations of what it's like to raise babies, I remembered all of them. Like I remembered, when your baby is brand new and you're thinking, oh, I just wish that, that my baby could crawl so I wouldn't, I'm not having to like carry her everywhere she goes. And then they start crawling and you're like, wait a minute, where'd she go? And then you're you're thinking, well, maybe when she starts walking, it'll be easier to keep track of her. And then when she's walking, that means that she's able to reach cabinets and drawers and stoves. And I mean, the adventure just doesn't end.
It's always something.
Yeah. True. So anyway, so you know what I should do is go through some of these. I don't know. There may have been people asking questions, and I need to learn my lesson and like keep an eye on the comments because. There's Mo saying, "Looking forward to talking to you Thursday." Did you drink all the warm tea and go into vocal rest? Don't act like you're surprised you wrote that comment. You wrote that.
There may have been alcohol involved in that comment.
She doesn't remember. She
it's really
a little bit tipsy at the moment. All right. Actually, so I went back too far. Let's see. Hey, everyone. And let's just say hi to our peeps.
Hi, Renee.
There's Renee. Here's Julie. Julie is, she's the coolest. Julie and I have a lot of in-depth conversations. We solve the problems of the world just like every day. But we get
Somebody's
to talk
gotta
about
do it.
talk about stuff. And then there's Megan.
Hi, Megan. Megan's one of our beta readers. She got the first copy of this book, and she shredded it appropriately.
She does, really? Megan.
Yeah.
You know, I really admire proof readers and proof listeners because like I said, I mean, I really do have this issue. Like, I can't concentrate on any one thing for more than like 2 minutes. That's being generous. 30 seconds and I'm like off to another thing. And so when I get proofs back from people who say, oh yeah, you said when you said it should have said the, I think, how on earth did you even catch that? But yeah, they catch all sorts of stuff. And so thank God for the proofers. But
this was the cleanest audio I've ever listened to. I listened to all of Stephanie's part, and there was literally one word that was wrong.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was so clean.
All right. You need to go buy a lottery ticket.
I know.
So,
That's true.
That's cool. There's Sandra. Sandra says, hi, Mo, and hi, Aly. And let's see, who else? So if anybody has any questions, I don't know what Sandra Mitchell means for fun, but we could probably talk about the things that we do for fun without in implicating ourselves, anything that could be used for evidence against us. But let's see. Shannon says hi, and she's happy that our work brings joy. So,
hi, Shannon.
Cheers to Shannon.
Cheers.
There's Megan again, and let's see. Oh, so you have a new customer in Julie.
What is that?
Whose
Mosey.
train is that? Was that a train?
That's got to be Mo's.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there a little train going around your backyard? Does your husband have like a conductor cap, and he's like, driving your kids around the backyard?
No, no. It's so funny because sometimes the train is so quiet and you can't really hear it up here. And then just depending on I don't know if it's just the pressure in the air because we live up on a bluff and the train is down in the bottoms.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you can hear it really well, and sometimes you can't. And right now it's just echoing everywhere.
Oh, that's cool. They always sound really nice, like at nighttime when there's the bugs are out or the crickets. It's like a train in the background is always like such a cool mood setter. So here's a question for you, Stephanie. Kelly Case wants to know how you choose which books you want to voice.
Normally I work with publishers and they kind of choose for me. So that makes it easy.
Yeah. So I think that's a big part. It's like, they have a good objective idea of what makes the most sense for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. They kind of fit us together with the right projects. And then sometimes, like, this was a happenstance on Instagram, right? Is that how we met, Aly?
Well, I listen to audio, so I have my favorite audio, so I stalked you down on Instagram.
Good, perfect. Cool. I'm so glad you did. And that's actually my favorite, is when I get to interface with the authors, because through publishers it's kind of tricky. You don't usually get to have these kinds of conversations directly with the author, and it feels like such an artistic collaboration that I always want to be in conversation with them and talk about how excited I am and do something like this afterwards. And so this made this possible in a way that's very fulfilling.
Yeah, that is really pretty cool, isn't it? Like, so I think that people don't. I know I didn't understand just how busy an author's life is, but when you see your author on your Facebook feed and they're talking about, hey, here's a book that I'm working on, or what do you guys think of this, or something like that. You guys really you have to manage your time really well. You put yourselves on a pretty strict schedule of like a certain number of words per day that you have to do, and I think that's that can't be easy. It's like no. Being a porn star would be like a similar experience, like having to perform, just like you have to do this. You've got to come up with something brilliant every single day, and that would be difficult.
Yeah, but it kind of grows along with your readership. So, I mean, as you start as an independent author earlier on, the tasks are smaller, the audience is smaller, there's less you have to do to please them. And then as your audience grows, the tasks grow, you've got to find new places to find new audiences. And I mean, hopefully, I think most independent authors kind of come to it in a really natural way. Where you're organically growing. And so you're always, stretching yourself to learn how to do this or learn how to do that. And I mean, if you don't like that part, this is the wrong business. So, I mean, we both enjoy it. We enjoy our readers. It doesn't seem like work when you get to, you're going to be on Facebook anyway. You might as well be interacting with the people who love what you're doing. And that's really, because I mean, it's different than just reading a review when you post something and people are like, oh my gosh, I love Shane and Maggie so much, or
you're like,
whatever. I'm like, I know, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I like that too.
Kind of narcissistic, actually.
Yeah, it really is nice to like get to chat with the people who listen to the books, and it's really neat. It's almost like instant feedback. You read a book and it's out there, and then somebody will come back and say, hey, I like that story or whatever, or whatever it happened to be that they the kind of comment that they had on your your audiobook, and you're like, well, I just read that, and so now you're listening to it, and you're talking to me about it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Y'all, I'm gonna embarrass Mo real fast.
Okay, do it.
She is an audio virgin, y'all.
What?
Wait, what?
Yes. She doesn't listen to audio. She's a virgin, like audio virgin. Like she doesn't listen to audio. She has never. So when I started, like, I'm all into audio, and so I was plotting this out, and I was sending her y'all's like little voice samples, and she's like, okay, all right.
Wow. I wish I would have known this, Aly. This is like like at the Rocky Horror Picture Show, when you're a virgin and then they march you up to the stage and they auction you off and do all sorts of humiliating things. We should have known, but that's all right. Well, next time. So that's just a lesson for next time. Next time we have an audio virgin, we'll have some kind of thing planned for you. Maybe we can figure something out for you, Mo. We'll help you break some other virgin. You know what? Here's what we can do. You can, Mo. We'll have you read a scene. How's that?
She's gonna murder.
That will be great. Yeah. So
I was
Mo,
on a podcast one time, and they wanted me to read like an excerpt, and I was like, "Come on, for real?"
I don't understand how y'all do it.
You have to.
Really?
Now you have to do it. We're going to train you. You have two professionals who can rehearse with you. So
I have a voice only an Aly could love.
your voice sounds great. I wanted to ask Stephanie. So as I was doing research and talking to you guys about putting this Facebook Live together, I was doing the little stalking of all of you, and so I have a little bit of knowledge. So let's see. I think Aly, your birthday is on February 26th.
Look at you.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie, your birthday is August 2nd?
Ooh, you're like a psychic.
Is that it? Is that okay? Well, we're both Leos. So
Yeah.
And you know what, Mo, I had something really good on you. I think it's just that you say fuck a lot. Like in your Facebook posts. You're a bit of a potty mouth. You're really funny though. So.
She's the funniest.
But so anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Try to explain your way out of this.
I haven't said fuck so far today.
Yeah.
Here.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You did pretty good. Oh, okay. That was Aly. Okay. But no, but that is a sign of I think it's a sign of a smart, like an intellect is that you say bad words a lot, and your desk is really messy. So,
You're alone in that.
One of the things when I was stalking was Stephanie, on your page, you did, and I need to download this book and listen to it, but you produced an audiobook musical, right? Called Lustily Ever After.
That's right.
What is that?
That's right. Yeah.
So I haven't heard it yet, but I made a note to myself. Like I was like really busy, like doing stuff and kept catching up on deadlines and stuff. But I want to hear the book. But I want to hear more about like what is that about? Like Lustily Ever After.
Well,
because you won an award for this, right? You won a earphone awards.
We won earphones, and we were a finalist for an Audi in 2020.
Yeah, that's it's big time, man. I saw that and I was like, oh shit, I am definitely out of my league here. So anyway, no, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about this musical.
Well, it's 2.5 hours, so it's short. It's a novella length, and it is basically the first audiobook musical for adults. There have been some musicals for families and kids and stuff, but this is just for adults because it is a romance, and it is sort of like a funny romance, where it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, like Naked Gun approach to a romantic comedy. And there are 20 original songs peppered in throughout all the narration, or the what's that called? Novella, like just the story. So there's an actual story, and then there's songs kind of in each chapter.
Do you sing in this?
Yes.
Obviously, it's. I guess I couldn't imagine that it would be a musical without you're the main character, and so I suppose you would have to sing in this.
I do a lot.
Book. That's exciting.
So that's that sounds
very funny.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting, and I thought it'd be really cool to listen to a book like that. And you come to it naturally. Your dad is a pretty well respected producer and writer, and I told you I stalked you. I know a lot about you guys.
Oh my gosh!
I'll be sending you one of those emails that says, "I know your password." And I caught you watching porn, and I'm going to release it to the world if you don't give me $1,000 in Bitcoin.
Oh no! As long as it's not in all caps.
I really didn't get into that much detail. I'm shit with computers, so you're safe there. But
yes, my dad will be happy to hear that he is. Yeah, he's been a music producer and musician all my life, so it was pretty natural. Yeah. Yeah,
it's like you come from an artistic family, which is pretty cool. So they probably understood when you said, "Hey, I want to be an actor." They didn't say, "No, don't do that. Do something that'll pay the bills." They
didn't try to fight me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So speaking of which, Aly and Mo, what was your previous life before you guys became world-renowned authors and your own swimming pool and all that stuff?
I was a reader and a blogger and a stay-at-home mom to 4 children that I had in 3.5 years.
Wow. Wait a minute, what? So you had twins. Okay. All right.
So, but I had 3 children in less than a year, and my oldest, who's only 3 years older than them. And I was stay-at-home mom. My husband whisked me off to Chicago for his job, and I had no friends and no way to leave the house. And so I told my husband, I was like, "Hey, look," I was like, I don't have any friends. I'm going to make my own.
And I want you to stay away from me for, so I can put a year between the next baby.
Oh, no, they're done. That was done.
That's enough. Yeah. Usually 4 and 3 years is probably enough to cure you of that urge to have another kid.
Yeah. So I told him I was going to write a book, and 6 weeks later I wrote a book. And that's how Mo and I met, is we were writing our first book at the same time back in 2013.
That's pretty cool. So when you look back at those books, are you, do you think, wow, I always had it all along, or is it like humbling to look at where you
Very
started?
Humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
Yeah, very humbling. But we're also proud of them because it got the ball rolling, and it kind of, there's a lot of cutting teeth the first time you do anything like that and put yourself out there. So there were a lot of, bittersweet moments with our first releases, and we learned a lot. And but that's the whole thing is, I mean, you're not going to automatically know anything. And so after 40 books between both of us, hopefully now, like you were saying earlier, all of the editors and readers and people who get our early copies aren't cringing as much as they had to back then, because hopefully we've learned a little bit.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
eyes
Well,
aren't bleeding.
I remember reading, so I read The Stand by Stephen King, and that was my favorite. Well, no, it wasn't, but it was one of my favorite. It's got to be. I think it's The Shining, Salem's Lot, It, and then The Stand. So top
Stephen
five for sure.
King, huh?
But anyway, so I read The Stand, and then they released the I don't know what the equivalent of the director's cut is for those books, but it was the unabridged or the author's cut of the book, and it really made me appreciate the role of the editor, because that version was just like, it was way too long, and there was so much stuff in there that it couldn't hold my attention. So it's kind of
slice it up.
yeah, it's kind of cool to see that to see the process of what goes into making a really good book. So Kelly asks a question. Can you tell us which series both of the characters are from, so that we can get the full picture?
Maggie is from the Retrieval Duet, and Shane is from M. Mabie's Wake series, Bait, Veil, and Anchor.
But also, Kelly, this story is a complete standalone. There are no spoilers for either of those series in When the Walls Fall, or what's the name of my book? When the Walls Come Down. There are no spoilers for the Wake series or the Retrieval Duet. We were pretty careful about that. And both of them those other books are a lot more angsty. I mean, they still have the good banter, but they have a lot more weight to the plot. This one is a little bit more lighthearted, and they actually act like adults and talk things out. Where I think in those other books, I think there were some secrets.
Oh, okay. So, Aly, Rebecca wants to know if this is the first rom-com you've written / co-written.
Yes, this is my very, very first rom-com. I usually write extremely angsty stuff, like really catastrophic. I have embryos switched in the lab, kidnapping babies in chapter 1. I mean, I write really, really angsty, emotional, catastrophic romance. And so this is a big change for me. Mo didn't let me kill anybody in this book, y'all.
Nobody died.
Nobody.
Not even a dog.
Well, you already killed her mom in the. No.
Okay, I killed her mom in the other book series. But that wasn't this book. That wasn't this book.
Who's the bartender? Chris. He's got a story too, doesn't he?
No, not yet.
He doesn't have a story. He needs a story. That guy was like really interesting. He was just kind of like in and out of the story, but I thought that guy sounded really interesting. I thought for sure he would have his own story already.
Well, he's in Mo's. He's
Yeah?
in your other books. That whole Babe Brewing world is Mo's world.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he
I just gave you your next idea.
deserves it.
You can get on the stick and get moving on that story. That's cool.
I need to get on your schedule for that.
Bradley Carter wants to know what everyone is drinking. So what I have whiskey.
Pinot Grigio.
This is kind of my I try to pass this off as my thing. Like, oh yeah, for a Facebook Live, I drink whiskey, but this is pretty much the time I start drinking anyway. So I don't think I have a problem, but I do love it. Like I'm loving whiskey more and more, and so it's to the point. My issue is bad enough that like I buy good whiskey, but then I'll buy like those great big gallon size Maker's Mark. And so I'll typically drink Maker's Mark, but then when I want to drink,
I like Maker's Mark.
I was about to
Maker's
say,
Mark is, yeah,
Maker's
it's
Mark
actually,
is
you know what, I
cheap.
shouldn't talk trash on Maker's Mark because
How much are we
it's
paying
really,
him?
yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, thank God the check cleared because it's got me in another bottle of whiskey. But yeah, Maker's Mark is really, it's a great whiskey. So I shouldn't actually I shouldn't talk too much about it at all because like I think that they undercharge for for their whiskey. It's inexpensive, but it's delicious. But yeah, so I've got like, what's that?
Is this an ad?
Yeah, I know. They should be paying me. This Facebook Live brought to you by Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark makes you look better at the 2:00 call. I don't. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking. And what are you guys drinking? Aly, I saw you drinking. I know you drink. Or was it you?
Pinot
Yeah. So
Grigio.
yeah, you. What's that?
Pinot Grigio.
That's my wife's fave.
Mm-hmm.
She loves Pinot Gris. And you don't like Pinot Grigio?
I still have.
Mo made a
I was
face.
gonna
I'm
say,
sorry.
I still have a bunch of recording to do today, so
Oh, no drinking for you.
Oh, okay.
It will be very hard to understand me if I start drinking now.
I had a friend.
Slurring your words. You know, it's all really good except for that one middle part. It's kind of slurry.
So I had this. My first career was in radio. I spent about 28 years in radio, and that's what brought me out to St. Louis. Was working for this one big news talk radio station, and our voiceover guy, his name was Zeus, and the name, like the name says it all. That's what his voice sounded like. He was this great big voice of God guy, and the funny thing was he was from I think like Myrtle Beach, and he had this accent. Like you'd call him up and he'd go, "Hey boy, how you doing? It's good to talk to you again." And then you would say, you'd give him the script and he would start reading it, and he came across as just like totally professional. And said, "Tonight on News Talk 1120," he would do his thing, and then he'd be done, talking, and he'd say, "All right, son, you go have a good day now." And so when I first started working with this guy, he had enough clients that he made lots of money. And on Wednesdays at noon, he would be out of the office and golfing. And on Fridays, he just wouldn't work at all. So one time I called him up, or I had sent him some script that was really important, like late breaking news or something, and he didn't answer. So I called him, and he was on the golf course. And he said, "All right, man, I'm on the golf course." Well, that guy, he would always take like a fifth of Jack with him, and he would smoke some weed. And so by the time he got back, he read the script for me, but it sounded like somebody took a 45 RPM record, and you guys aren't old enough to know 45. Bless you. But anyway, and slowed it down to 33 1/3. And he was slurring his words. I think I could have like sped him up and he would have sounded perfect. Would have sounded perfectly. So, but so yeah, I'm pretty much done with my work day. So,
Me too.
so you got me drinking.
That's nice.
So, so Ashley Strickland says, "Hey Mo and Aly."
Hi,
And,
Ashley.
But how do you
let's see.
say your name, Ashley?
Oops, sorry. There she is.
She's a good friend of ours. Mo's being a smartass.
Oh, are you? So Ashley, now you know you're gonna get to laugh at Mo in a second. So what do you think, Stephanie? Do you want to do a scene, like read a part of the book?
it. I
Okay.
think that sounds super fun.
So do you guys
You guys
have
tell me what part though?
any idea what we would like to what you would like us to read?
No.
And I think, hold on a second. There it is. So I've got my copy here. I don't know if I can share my screen. but maybe if I can, then you guys can see what. Let's see, share screen.
That'd be fun.
Screen sharing. I'll try this. You guys thought I was a professional at this stuff, but not so much. Okay, let's see here. This is the pretty one, but that's not the one we want to see.
Ooh.
How come? Oh, hold on a sec here. Share screen. We're this one. Okay, so now, and then let me see here. Okay.
No, there she is.
Can you guys see the screen? Okay.
We see me squinting and leaning way in.
Here, let me.
Yeah, you gotta have
Let me do
good
this.
eyesight.
My glasses.
No.
How's that? Can you guys see this?
Yes, I can now.
All right.
It's not as big as your screen. It's just partial of the little partial screen.
I'm gonna have to use mine. But tell me what page you're on.
Okay.
And I can't see Stephanie at all anymore.
Oh, you can't? Here, let me.
She's
Let
behind.
me
You can hear me. That's what matters.
Behind the
this is
Comment.
yeah. This is really strange. It's almost like when Doc is trying to explain the concept of spatial time flux to Marty. Like I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 different 4, 5. Oh my God, they're going into infinity. All the different screens here. So I'm not sure exactly what. Mo? Are you okay?
You got to 81.2 gigawatts.
I know. Yeah, I think we're gonna launch ourselves into a different dimension. But okay, so I can see this. I can see the script. Can you see the script? We're on Stephanie. We're on page 170 of the PDF.
Oh, you're cutting a little bit of page.
I'm sorry. So,
Don't make it your mustache.
You know what? Let me try a different headphone.
oh, okay. Are you having a hard time hearing?
Grab some other headphones.
Mo, are
I'm just
you
gonna grab it
nervous?
really quick and come right back. So hang on.
It might be because I've reached critical mass with my
I am doing
drinking
this.
and I'm slurring now. So
I
here's
keep itching your chin.
what are you doing, Mo? What on earth are you doing?
Just scratching my chin. You should have done this with professional authors, Troy, not us.
Well, you know what?
I was making a
Hey.
hair mustache on.
You do some really creative stuff. So I guess, whatever it takes for you to like get into your creative zone. Who are we to judge? This is your
the
process.
teacher is doing stuff and putting stuff up on the board, and everybody's just like,
All right. So Mo, I know that you've probably seen this. You've probably been to this movie before. But remember when you were in class and you were goofing around with your friend, and your teacher said, "So Mo, what do you think about what I just said?" And you have to like come up with a quick answer. So you're going to have to participate in this book as well. It's going to be
like
great.
Mad Lib?
So let's see, Mo. What I would like you to do is, let's see here. Excuse me. All right. So Mo,
searching for Reggie.
how about you play the part of Blake,
Oh, it is.
and then Mo, you could also play the part of Reggie. Does that sound good?
No, I can't see it. Like, where are you at?
You can't see it.
Oh,
okay.
no.
What
It's
page is
like
it?
it's literally like 2 inches by 2 inches, like on my screen.
Oh, is it really? Let me do this.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's just not clear.
She's not going to do it.
It's not. You're not going to do it, are you, Mo?
Is there? Well, I mean, is there like a
Hey, I
few
have an
words
idea.
that I can search in my Kindle?
Maybe. Do you have a copy of your book?
I
Okay.
have my Kindle right here.
There we go.
Give me
Okay.
to search for.
So it's on your Kindle. So your pages aren't going to match up. So why don't you do this? Do a word search that says, "There's my big, dumb brother." This is going to be great. Aly, do you want a part?
No.
Yes.
I'm just picking on Mo because she's an audio virgin, so we need to initiate.
I'm going to pay for this
I'd like
tomorrow.
to pick on Aly because
hardcore.
he's an asshole.
This is going to be great. See, this is why I didn't tell you about what we were going to be doing during this Facebook Live.
Aly can be ready.
They're at the birthday party, Mo.
Yeah, I just got to the birthday party. Blake says, "There's my big dumb brother." This is hold on a sec here. This is chapter 22. Probably about 1, 2, 3, 4 pages in, 5 pages in.
It's searching. It didn't find it for. I'm searching dumb brother. That should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aly needs to read something. Aly needs to read the red shirt.
Okay. So Aly, would you like to be Reggie? This is going to be a Stephanie and Troy sandwich where Mo is the top bun and Aly is the bottom bun.
Y'all don't understand how bad we are at this. This is not.
This will be great. This is going to give you insight into the preparation of your
So
of
do
your
I
book.
do I only read the dialogue that Blake says, and then somebody else reads the after the?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and complete the sentence. So let's do a practice thing, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Start it, Mo.
There's my big dumb brother.
Blake called and then peered around me.
And Maggie?
My sister gave her a welcoming smile. There. See, how's that? Cool?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Wait. I still can't find it. Hold on. I'm getting there. 22. Sorry. Blake, this is my friend
Stephanie gone?
Maggie. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think Stephanie just disappeared.
Isn't it? Oh, did she? Well, hold on a sec here. Oh, yeah. So I put you. There you are. I don't know. I didn't take you out of the stream. I'm sorry.
You guys, I know. I'm having all kinds of issues, technical issues.
Stephanie, I'm sorry. You were. I was looking at you and I thought, wow, she looks like there's like, you know how they have those pictures where they say that those little light spots are ghosts in the picture. That's what I thought. It was just like a really big ghost in front of your screen. It just kind of grayed you out completely.
Oh my goodness.
So.
Hopefully I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. I'm hearing you. You're looking great.
Okay. All right.
I noticed that your hair is
what
like
page you
is
are
on
on,
point. It looks like you've gone to the hairstylist more recently than I have.
This is the most I have put myself together in quite some time.
That's pretty much. I've taken it. Yeah.
Can you turn off the comments so we can see Stephanie? She's hidden.
Oh yeah. Hold on a sec here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to turn you off. Let's see here. I'm not sure now how to
screen.
It can't
The
be that
little
difficult.
ticker part.
Yeah. How do I? Hold on a second. This can't be that difficult. Let's see.
Or we all have our own script now, so you can go back to the regular thing.
Oh
That
yeah.
might be easier.
That's true.
The regular. Without screen sharing.
Yeah, we all have our
See,
own script now.
she's the brains of the operation.
Oh,
I'm
that's
the
right. Yeah,
mug of
you
the
okay?
operation.
Yeah, so everybody's got their own script. But I did kind of want everybody else to see the thing. I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how to turn off the comments. But are they covering Stephanie?
No,
Not
I think
anymore.
I'm back.
No,
Okay.
she's visible.
All right. You guys are just going to have to imagine that you're looking at the that you're looking. Do we still have people here watching our Facebook Live? I feel like
I'm here,
I may have
so
gotten us off
that
track a
counts.
little bit. I apologize for that. Okay, it looks like we've got some people here. So let's.
What page are you on?
This is page on the PDF. It's page 170. chapter. It's like 5 pages into chapter 22.
Okay.
And it starts with, "There's my big dumb brother."
Ah. Okay.
Okay. We ready? This is just like how they do in Hollywood, isn't it, Stephanie?
It's just like that.
This is like the same thing, right? Yeah. We're like
basically
doing page readings.
This is better than how they do it in Hollywood. I mean, this is going to be the new. Yeah.
We are rocking this thing. Okay. Okay, Mo, are you ready?
Yes.
Mo, Jesus Christ.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, and when I say action, that's your part. You ready? And action.
There's my big dumb brother.
Blake called and then peered around me. I gave her a welcoming smile.
And Maggie?
Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed. Well, okay. In my defense, all right. In my defense, there was a great big. I have a
You just
find
accidentally
feature.
got my butt.
All right, so I screwed this one up. That's my bad. But now, okay, this is for the this is for the money. Okay, ready? And action.
There's my big dumb brother.
Blake called and then peered around me.
And Maggie?
My sister gave her a welcoming smile. I knew Casey had a big mouth and had told her everything, but I had nothing to hide. Not here. Not today. Blake, this is my friend, Maggie, the one who just started at the company you and your husband are conspiring to fire me from. My sister flipped me off and then walked over to Maggie, relieving her of the rest of the boxes.
Holy cow, did you guys buy out the whole store?
Oh, that's me.
So I think that's
I thought that was Stephanie. I was trying to be polite. All right, we'll just take it from here. You can blame your new employee for all those. Maggie chuckled nervously.
Yeah, I might have gone a little overboard. I have a lot of nieces and nephews back home. Guess I'm sort of homesick and went kind of on a teeny tiny shopping spree.
Well, thank you. We're happy to have you. And by the time you leave chaos today, you'll probably be thankful for a quiet apartment later. And don't be surprised if after seeing all of these Ro. Huh? I'm sorry.
Ro, our youngest.
Ro, our youngest, invites you to her birthday party in a few months.
Blake shrugged.
Irish twins. Hope you brought your appetite too. I cooked as much as you shopped.
My sister walked off with the rest of the gifts, and Maggie just kind of stood there. I slipped my arm around her back to guide her forward, and instinctively, before I could help myself, my lips ever so briefly pressed against her bare shoulder. She gasped and looked up at me. Oh, I'm sorry, but you know I'm weak, and you shouldn't have worn us. You should have worn a sweater.
It's almost 85 degrees out.
She argued. I moved us toward the patio and said, yeah, excuses. The thing was, she didn't try to wriggle out of my touch. She didn't step away to put distance between us. She didn't even make an attempt to brush my hand away from her back. Maybe she'd let herself be mine again, even if it were just for the day.
How long are you going to wait and tell your friend Maggie that you're in love with her?
Reggie asked point blank as he passed me a beer. He was holding his sleeping daughter in his other arm when he sat beside me on the concrete wall where I'd been staring at Peach, laughing with Mom, Nora, and Blake for way too long. I took the beer and averted my eyes. You don't know what you're talking about.
The fuck I don't.
It's complicated, Reggie. Drop it.
It's always complicated, trust me. Complicated things are sort of my expertise. So I'll ask you again.
He shifted so the sun wasn't beaming down on his infant's face.
When are you going to stop being a pussy and tell her how you feel? Or are you going to waste time on bullshit circumstances that won't even matter a few years from now? By the way, and let them be the excuses you tell yourself that kept you from the only woman I've ever seen you look at like that?
But, Bae, I began.
Fuck Bae Brewing. That's a job, not a life.
I popped the cap off and tossed the cold brew back. It can't be love. I've known her for less than a month. He pointed the end of his closed beer at me, silently asking to open it for him, and I did. Reggie sarcastically kept going.
Yeah, you're probably right. You probably don't think about her constantly or picture a future with her, or hell, one would be without her. You probably don't share any inside jokes or stupid rituals. There's no way you probably dream about her every night or itch to call her just to see what she's doing or finding an excuse to touch her.
He took a sip.
And why would you? Look at her over there blending with our family like she's known us for years. Every so often smiling at you. She's a monster. Coming with you to your nephew's birthday party on her day off. You're right. There's probably nothing there.
Was I brooding 8 feet away from a 12-foot tall bounce house? Hold on. I need to get to your part. Okay. My brother, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. My brother, almost like he knew he'd dropped a bomb on my life while a stupid party clown twisted up balloons of dogs and snakes and cowboy hats, finally added, I should have warned you. Finally added.
He skipped 2 paragraphs.
I did.
That's
I have
wanted
the paperback.
I wanted to get. I was tired of listening to my own voice. I wanted to hear Aly.
Me?
Hmm. So my brother.
I don't know where we're at.
My brother, almost like he knew he'd dropped a bomb on my life, while a stupid party clown twisted up balloons of dogs and snakes and cowboy hats, finally added,
I've been handling your money since you started making any, and I'm motherfucking best at it, what I do. So you can't fool me into believing this whole friends thing is because of a job. Seriously, I learned this lesson the hard way, but sometimes when you want something bad enough, you have to be willing to let everything else go. Standing still will get you nowhere, big brother, especially with that friend of yours.
And scene. Ta-da! We did it. So what do you think, Mo? How do you feel?
I feel de-virginized.
You did great. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I feel like I need to go wipe up and take a shower.
I think you should. Well, afterwards, you need to keep it G-rated. But I think Stephanie was our MVP in this. So
that one line that I did was.
She did. Yeah, I should have picked. I should have picked something with more lines. I thought that there was going to be more dialogue between us, and so I should have done that. But I was kind of excited for the idea of putting Aly and Mo on the spot and getting them to do a little audiobook reading.
Yeah, you guys did good.
I won't be a professional anytime soon. I'm going to stick to writing.
Same.
So Davina says it was the best ever live read that she's heard.
Thank you,
There
Davina.
you go, Davina.
So that's got to be true. So
It's got to be true. I believe her.
So yeah, so I think we've done some good work today. Julie thinks that we're really funny. So
Thanks, Julie.
I think that's pretty cool. And so all right. I think that we've mentioned the name of the book only about like 4 or 5 times. When the Walls Come Down is the name of the book. The ebook just came out, and so that's available as we speak, right? Today was release day, so you can get that.
And paperbacks.
Oh, and on paperback too. How on God's green earth did you do that? That's
I didn't make it myself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just amazing to me that you could write that and produce it as quickly as you did. So
It's
It
always
was
been
magic
6
for us
weeks.
too.
yeah, it's
It's
kind
only
of
been
magic.
6 weeks from the first page to now. That's
Yeah.
just nuts.
Well, I had a great time reading it. I
too.
can't wait to listen to the whole thing put together. I haven't heard the whole thing, myself, just my parts. So I'm looking forward to listening to Stephanie's parts when the book comes out. I'll be one of your customers when it goes on sale. So
Well, I want to say a huge thank you to both of you for working us into your schedule and taking the time and giving us in return such an incredible product that I am so proud of and so excited to release. And I
Thank you.
really can't say thank you enough for getting this done as quickly and as precisely and as amazing as you guys did. So thank you, big time.
well, thank you very much. I love it.
And we have
I
another
really
book
loved it.
coming.
Oh yeah, we'll be in
So if you
contact
have
soon.
time,
Really?
Dream
What,
team. Dream
what's your next
team
book?
Right here.
When the Time is Right, another rom-com.
Oh,
It's
nice.
not. They're going to be moving to Atlanta. It's not the same characters, but we will see Shane and Maggie in When the Time is Right.
Nice. I think that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I would love to do it. If you up for it, Stephanie?
We'll be in contact. Very
Right
soon.
on. We will do it. All right, guys. Well, I think we're done. I don't know if I missed any of the comments that you guys have put in. If you had any questions that that I didn't answer. Honestly, it's difficult to like pay attention to what everybody is saying and then like look at the comments at the same time. So I apologize if I did that, but I'll hang out afterwards and answer any comments or any questions that I might have missed. But meanwhile, I really appreciate all the time that you guys gave us. Wow, it's almost an hour and a half that we were on. So I thank you for thank you for all the time you guys.
Well, this was so much fun.
Thanks for joining us, Stephanie, and thanks for having us, Troy.
All right, thank you, and we'll be hanging out on Facebook together then.
If you guys are on Instagram, I just wanted to say, definitely connect with me if you want to at Steph Rose Voice. And if there's any other authors that want to reach out,
oh, cool.
That's where I am.
You said Steph Rose Voice?
Yeah.
Done.
On Instagram.
Yeah, I will look you up. So now I have a new avenue to stalk you on. So
there you go.
Next time we do a Facebook Live, I'm going to know everything about you.
Everything.
All right. Well, all right, guys. Thank you very much.
Right.
Great to be hanging out with you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.